Scorpio, welcome back. We are here to do your October 2020 read. Now, those of you that are new, a very warm welcome. Those of you returning, thank you guys. Very warm welcome back. Yes, October is going to be quite full on. We have 3 moons this month. Now, this read is going to be done both astrologically, psychically, and with the tarot, as well as I've picked a crystal, guidance card with the spirit cards, and a chakra card as well as the ruin. Now I'm going to go also by moon phase, and then we're going to get into your romance energy plus the astrology. So it is quite an informative read, but it's going to forearm you for this month because we do have such heavy energy of Mars retrograde, Chiron in Aries retrograde. We have Black Moon Lilith in Aries, or Lilith in Aries. It's transiting signs to Taurus this month, should ease off in a shadow effect, but we might be looking at, what we're doing, what we're wanting, the bigger grand scheme of things at a financial level, what goods we want back into our life, and what things we actually have to do to change it. Now, Scorpio, you guys are deeply intuitive. It's quite natural for you guys to be in that demeanor. Be it it's hunch energy, you're kind of the zodiac sign that is, how do I put it? You know how to get information out of people. You have this empath energy that people want to tell you things. So innately, you know where to dig. You're great spiritual healers. There is this frequency coming through with the sun energy this month for you guys, that because the sun's going to be in Libra, you could be really thinking and meditating upon what the bigger picture is, but really looking at something. And 12th house is spiritual. You could be using your spiritual tools to guide you forward. You also could be getting some psychic downloads at the beginning of the month. And I'm also seeing when the moon does transit, when the sun transits, into Scorpio, you're going to be thinking what you need to do. So initially you're going to be getting the downloads, and then I feel at a 3D level, something at a level you're going to be looking at from a spiritual point of view, the bigger reason why things are happening and how to balance situations out. Then you're going to be getting to a point of maybe, thinking of the past, where some imbalances were, where you wanted to balance some scenarios out, but due to circumstances, you didn't have that. And when we did have such heavy Capricorn placements in the astrology, it did make it hard for a lot of us to actually have that support network. So we might have felt very alone through the transit. 2021 is really great to have wider group energy at a supportive format, relationships that are really working, contracts that are boding really well with us. So, we're almost out of the woods. This is almost like the birthing canal October is. So it's the tying up of loose ends, the endings and the new beginnings, because it's a vibration 10. So it's completions and launching new beginnings. Now, we're bumping off this month on the 1st of October with a full moon in Aries. And, by the time we did have Mars go retrograde, we had a bit of a kickoff with Aries and Chiron retrograde, which was tapping into that Mars energy. A lot of us were feeling very fatigued. So with the fatigue factor, warlike wounds coming through, or what could you have done to have changed those situations? A lot of it can link to where you didn't have help, even at a financial level, because 8th house placement, what did you need to end? What did you need to bring forward? Where was the supportive help financially? It can even be to do with inheritances and things to that degree. So for you guys, it's really unique, similar to the Cancer read. For the Zodiacs, the water signs at the moment for October, it will be testing. But it is very temporary, and it is going to transform you, and it's going to get you to the other side. So you may feel you're moving in one direction and then do a complete 360. And also, because we are having Mercury retrograde in your zodiac sign, you can really be tuning into where you stand in the matrix of everything at the moment. What is this new vibration of you coming through? What needs to change? What have you been saying? What have you been doing? And really meditating upon those things. You also could be looking at your daily routine of what you want to change. Some of you might be looking at the past and going, could I go back to that? Could I go back to that person? Could I go back to that job position? Could I go back to the old way I was? And most of you, it's merely mentally coming to terms with things and then really in the direct motion, which let me look when Mercury goes direct. It goes retrograde on the 14th, and it's at 2 degrees Scorpio. So again, for you, you may find you become quiet. You may find that you're deeper, and it could do the polar opposite. So if innately you're quiet and you actually are looking at things very passively, you may find that it does the polar opposite and you're very direct and blunt with people, which could be due to the Mars frequency, which does initially did link to your zodiac sign. So we're going to have that going on. We're also having your shadow energy of your fair-based frequencies coming through with Lilith, hitting your 7th house placement. So if you do find you're looking at things and you're like, okay, I want to swap contracts, I'm looking at my connection differently, what do I do? What is the give and take in this situation? With both Mars and Mercury retrograde, I do feel for you guys, Scorpio, you're really thinking on it. Now, the crowning energy that you have coming through, which is so psychic in nature, and it is blue. I'll show you the crystal. Okay, I don't know. Okay, I hear, I see, and understand messages from the divine. And now, even your spirit card is either a male energy. It's two things I'm getting coming through. And I'll read the back of this card as well before I proceed. Improve spiritual communication. Interpreting signs and symbols. Experiencing connections with angels, guides, Gaia. Feeling serenity and calmness. You're looking at the bigger picture. Where do you want to be? What do you want out of your life? What signs are you getting? You've got this hunch energy. Is there something you could do to shake things up? With the first day of the month, because Aries does hit your 8th house, which is very Pluto in energy, it's births, deaths, endings, it's shared resources, it's where is this taking me? In the retrograde effect, you would have had the time to meditate upon that. In the direct effect, you're directly having 3D things being applied to transform it, being that it's Capricorn, so it's level up energy. So very similar to the Saturn energy, which is coming through for you guys. You may have heavy Capricorn placement somewhere for some of you, or you're taking on that demeanor of, okay, what can I do in the matrix of this situation? Can I change something? What was given to me innately from my kin, from my DNA? What's in my bloodline? Where are my abilities at? I'm also seeing for some of you, you do actually have a loved one that is on the other side that is male in energy. This can be a grandfather, a father, but it's a male energy. Now, I do feel what they're wanting you to know is that, yes, they've given you some things. They've handed it down. Now, tribe doesn't have to be, a lot of times we have it innately in our DNA, or tribe family comes into life, which is spiritual. So this is a spiritual connection you hold with this energy. And what they're wanting you to know is to stop not following your dreams. You're putting other people first. And it's also you have been extremely responsible in your life, and they want you to take steps prior to the eclipse energy the following month to actually get the ball rolling. So they're wanting you to move into the Saturn energy, and with Pluto going direct, what actions have you been taking? What do you need to do to move your life forward? What are those hunch energies that you've been given? Also, where can you take yourself in a very disciplined, Saturn-orientated way to get your hopes and dreams going? I do feel in the past, potentially, you would put other energies ahead of you due to circumstances. It might have been due to health, due to family. Now, the ruin that you have is also linking in with this. So I'll show you the ruin. Okay. And it's in reverse. So this has been coming up a lot. Hi, Giggle. Journey across water, imagination. And it's funny because there's water in the dream traveler, right? Imagination, intuition, artistic creativity, fluidity. Soul journey, psychic powers, initiator of dreams. What are you doing to make those dreams happen? All right, go get them. Now, when it's in reversed, the ruin. And look at this, even the dreams is in reversed. What are you doing? And your loved one on the other side is like, especially Saturn and Pluto, is saying, okay, fear of change and procrastination. Now, this could be vice versa, but where you do have power, you need to own it. And it's going to show you, it's almost tapping into your Mars energy. So wherever that lands in your own natal, it could be quite a hint. But it's also movement, perseverance, discipline, and motivation. It's going to come back after the full moon, I do feel. And some of these subjects by mid-month, with the Libran new moon, I do believe they're going to be activated. But it's also spiritually, you're going to get a lot more signs and synchronicities by mid-month, I do feel. Now, with the first moon, we're having, as I mentioned, it's at 9 degrees. It's on the 1st of October, and it's a full moon in Aries, which is hitting your 8th house placement. What you've got, funny enough, is the 8 of Wands in reverse. Now, we do have Jupiter direct, and whenever I look at this card, it always reminds me of Jupiter. Look at the bow and arrow. Now, some of you are thinking, okay, was I hasty? Try not to second guess yourself. It is quite normal. It's a confusing time at the moment. Where are you putting your energy? Do I need to be cautious? Have I got my ducks in a row? Do I need to leave a circumstance? Do I need to move towards it? Have I assessed it correctly? Is it over? Is it not? There's something coming up in your mind's eye that you're needing to step back and sit with that energy. Okay, you need to tune into it. Start noticing something. Look back at the patterns you've had and then try and make a different cake. And it can be something on your side. But initially, it could even be relating to somebody where it's confusing you or a direct circumstance. So trying to come to some sense in it, or there could be cross wires really, especially by mid-month. You're going to find if there's been misunderstandings or delays in money coming towards you, it can start coming through, but make sure you've got your ducks in a row in a sense of the paperwork. Read your fine print, read your bank statements, especially prior to and during Mercury retrograde in Scorpio. You need to pay attention to those things. And gut instinct's going to be crucial. If you've got grand ideas, write them down. With Mars retrograde, sometimes we may not be able to retrieve that information mentally because we have so many things coming at us that, really making a list and going through that list of things you need to do and then moving forward with it. So if you do feel very, in the first week and a half, it is due to the full moon in Aries. It can theoretically be a purge, tying loose ends up, devil in the detail energy. It can be something to do with finances coming up as well for you guys. Also, if you feel everything's on you and suddenly one stream of income was coming towards you, then it's kind of depleted. It is going to come back by mid-month. It's just that frustrating dynamic of it moving forward. But definitely to do with the people in your life. Your guides are wanting you to know you can have your dreams, but there sort of feels like this pause energy, like you're not wanting to jump on something or you don't feel it's appropriate. There's something that you're not seeing. And it could be due to the external of what people around you potentially are thinking or projecting. And it can be conditioning as well with the 12th house. I hate the way the camera does that. Okay, now then we are having the new moon in Libra on the 16th, which is at 23 degrees, critical degree point, and it's hitting your 12th house. Now, the 12th house, again, as I mentioned, Scorpio is very, very psychic in nature, very intuitive in nature. This is where I feel you guys are going to really be meditating about what the bigger picture is, what balance is. Again, Libra energy can be marriages, contracts, partnerships, what all those things are in your life, what they meant and where you're going from here. But it's really turning over a new leaf. You've got the 6 of Cups. Some of you could have been waiting a real long time, and it's like, is relationships in my life, are my connections in life going to be balanced? This has been a little bit testing. Potentially, you can even be looking at the fact that everyone wants something from you, and you're giving all you can, but you just feel spiritually it's never enough. I do feel you're being patient. You're waiting for your ships to come in. You may find during this Mercury retrograde, either you're directly taking the bull by the horns or it's coming to you, but there can be some communication coming your way. And that there might have been some crosswise through this, but you're really going to have to be intuitive. And you're going to be reading body language very, very well. You'll be reading how people feel, sensing what the dynamics are. So this is going to be your aid this month. Also, what you can and can't do. You will be able to have the tools to be able to achieve anything you need to. But definitely, if you have a great opportunity in front of you, jump on it. But just bear in mind with Mercury retrograde, reading the fine print, there can be some delays, but I do feel some of these things could be coming 360. These can be some very dream-like activities, but it can feel like a blast from the past. Now, we're also going to be having the full moon in Taurus on the 31st of October at 8 degrees. This is hitting your 7th house placement. And funny enough, you've got the King of Cups. So there is a person who is going to come towards you during this Mercury retrograde. You may find that the skeletons in the closet are coming out, almost like a Venus retrograde, especially because it's in Scorpio, deeply mysterious, charismatic, or, innately a very, I feel it's a genuine energy. It is a king, okay? So with it, it can be a king or a queen. It's somebody who's really, really responsible, be it it's male or female. The demeanor they take on could be very understanding, very compassionate. Maybe they haven't always showed that energy to you before. This can also be, if you're applying for a job, it can be a male energy. It can be a boss position that you're actually applying for. It can be higher up in ranking, but also from a relationship perspective, because it's 7th house, marriages, contracts, partnerships, ending one cycle, starting a new one. So it's, you thought it was over and then it's coming back. Second round offers, so to speak. So try not to hold everything too cemented, because there's going to be a lot of chops and changes this month. It can feel confusing and frustrating, but I do feel some real positive energy, and your hunch energy is going to be on fire. Anything else I need to pre-warn you about? Okay, 3rd house. Do be careful with Pluto going direct. Be careful of travel, your routine. Some of you may be changing your routine up. Some of you may need to buy new technical devices, which is really sucky because it's during a Mercury retrograde. Please, please, please. If you're going to do that, we already will be in shadow moving into October of Pluto going direct. Of Mars retrograde. The energy of the 3rd house is hitting in Capricorn. With Mercury retrograde, we already will be in shadow of that at the beginning of the month. So if you are getting anything to do with a car serviced, telephone devices, technology, keep your receipt, right? Put it somewhere safe. Make sure you've got your documentation, because I have bought technology during Mercury retrograde. Yeah, you also may accidentally break something, so be very careful driving, okay? Due to Mercury retrograde. It's in your 1st house. Just be careful. Be careful. Let's see what's going on for your love. That was a bit of a tongue twister there, wasn't it? Mercury, Mars, yeah, they're all happening at the moment. So we've got Jupiter direct. So still, again, growth and things to that degree. Your movement, you will directly be applying that with the 3rd house placement. You can find yourself very busy, having to do a lot more traveling than usual, not, going out, not being able to be in hermit mode. Saturn has gone direct. So again, having a lot more responsibility. It's like, oh, here we go again. Okay, I need to do this. Maybe even communicating a lot more than you'd like, having a lot more conversations on the phone, etc. And with Pluto going direct, it's all coming at you, and you've got no energy due to Mars retrograde. It's only a few more weeks, guys. We can make this. We can do it. Don't be blowing up at people, which is a possibility because of the Mars retrograde. We all got wounds. Okay, some of these burdens, it's almost like you're just wanting to walk away from. There's some burdens that maybe you dealt with. It could have been within the connection that, you might have heard some gossip and it might have really triggered you. You might have found something out, and this could have already well and truly happened. And, you've seen some shadow energies and you're assessing where you're at. You're getting tired of gossipers, although you innately are able to get information out of people. You've got hunch energy. You don't need to be told. You just know what you know, what you know. There could be a person that really might be stirring a situation. You could feel a bit of dark energy around you, that they've got the evil eye on you. And there could be some jealousy projected towards you and your love interest. You're being very, very cautious about how you handle your love life. You're trying to be, I would say, discreet. No, I wouldn't even say discreet. It's not discreet. You're assessing the risk. You're like, okay, what is this? How do I look at this? Okay, yes, the past is the past. But somehow, it might be like you're trying to, you don't want to sugarcoat things. You're like, am I looking at this egoically? Or am I getting a psychic download? So there can be some cross wires. You may feel that you've got your intuition on fire, and people may be saying, hey, you're ridiculous. But you know what you know what you know. That's what I'm saying here. It's like you know what the goal is. People may be coming through and saying that you're a little bit stubborn. Okay. You also may feel this individual is stubborn. It can actually swap back and forward. They may be going through a bit of a hard time, but you're tired of waiting for your ships to come in. You're tired of things being testing, being confusing. Are we there yet sort of energy. Some of this can be giving you a lot of ascension symptoms, a lot of fatigue. If you are feeling tired, again, circumstances surrounding you and all your thoughts in your head, it's almost a purge of the ego. So if there's a little slight residue of it and you're trying to come to terms with the past, I do feel with this, it is going to come to a head. So don't be surprised if, through this Aries energy, you feel really tired. Rest, recoup, okay? If you're getting headaches and things to that degree, blurred vision, again, it's third eye energy. You can do a guided meditation. Yeah, you're being very strict on yourself. You're like, no, I can't do this or I can't do that. You're struggling with something, but it could be that you're picking up on people's energy. Make sure you clear your energy, especially if you're tuning into someone, that person in particular. Oh, these cards just keep falling out. I feel something's going a certain way, and then suddenly there is a bit of a shift, and it's like something's coming out of left field. Some situation is playing out in your life. This can be to do with a family member, brother, sister, mother, father, whoever this is. And it kind of takes you by the wayside. So you're in your frequency, you're doing a lot of meditation, you're thinking about the pros and cons of this connection, and then something out of left field after you're recouping. And I do feel it's within the first week, 2 weeks max. Something's taking you off in a different direction. Now, this different direction could be, it's a problem, it's a scenario playing, it's nothing major. It's just okay, I need to go and deal with that. While you're doing that, I do feel suddenly it's like you got to change plans. Something comes up in the mix. This could be near the new moon in Libra, but I feel it's even potentially before. Could be in the next few days. Now, with that, it is around this time that I do see some shifts in your connection. The shifts in it, it's like, oh gosh, I've got to go over here and I've got to do that. And it does feel there's a sudden shift in it. You could hear some news. Again, be very careful with the people you're surrounding yourself with. I do feel that a subject to do with somebody that hurt you is going to come back up. You could get information about this. You could even have a trigger point coming up during the full moon in Aries that a pattern is going to repeat, that something is going to reoccur again. And this may be why you're slightly holding back as to your hopes and dreams not being able to be fulfilled. I just see this rewind button that you're playing over old things in your head. And look, we do that when we're trying to come to terms with it, but it sort of feels like a dark night of the soul energy or a haunting. It's like, again, it is because we have Mercury in Scorpio this month. So you're trying to keep your cards close to your chest. You're trying to be protective of yourself. I feel you're holding on to your coin. You've got your life together to a whole. And you're just trying to, you're an acceptance, but you're mad at yourself. It's a bit like you're mad at your intuition. Intuition doesn't prevent things from happening. Try not to own that. You don't have to be everyone. That's what I'm feeling. You don't have to be everyone. I'm seeing a phone call. I'm seeing a phone call from a person that you haven't heard from, and I do feel it could be, this could be two energies. It doesn't have to be one energy. Be it your partner or not. This is your romance section, but it's funny because you've got all these other energies going on surrounding it, so it does feel really busy. You're needing to be a lot more than what you'd like to be. Mother, sister, brother, you have to be it all. I don't know why that keeps coming through. Okay, there's a person around you that's very, very jealous of you and in competition with you. For those of you that are single, this could be a third-party energy relating to a previous situation. For others of you, a third-party energy can be a job, it could be a person, it could be a memory. But I do feel there is some jealousy really being projected towards you, almost like they're wanting you to fail, whoever this is. There also could be a little bit of jealousy linking to, 12th house can also be memories of hurt, memories of third-party energies of the past. Feeling replaceable. This can even go all the way back to childhood. But again, from a spiritual point of view, if you're working on that and you understand your self-worth, you'll be fine with that energy. I do feel overall your frequency is grounded. You're well-rounded. You've got your life together. You're doing you. You're kind of observing or directly peeking in the middle of a conflict. And I feel, to a degree, you kind of feel like you're the innocent one in this situation. You're like, how did I get myself into this mess? I'm trying to keep my energy fluid. I'm trying to keep out of drama. Why am I attracting these people? It's sort of like almost instigating you to be assertive to a point. You create this healthy boundary. Because I'm telling you, there's a lot of triggers to do with jealousy coming up, and I feel that these are external energies. Okay, how does this person feel about you? They feel that you've made a judgment. They do, yeah, they feel like you've made a judgment. They feel you're being very direct and strict. This is required. So they're in awareness of that paradigm. They're in awareness of what is required. It could be your belief systems. It could be your upbringing. They know what the end goal is and what needs to happen. I do feel in the past maybe they placed energy elsewhere. This could have been for some of you where a betrayal was there. But they're really learning and they're very focused. They're very focused on doing the work inside themselves. But they're very, very cross at themselves for their shortcomings. I see them actually looking back at 3 set scenarios that kind of hindered them in their life. It's 3 set scenarios. And they're looking at their judgment, of how they didn't see something or how they felt about this and how it directly shaped their energy in coming towards this connection with you. I do feel that they had a belief system to do with what it was to be powerful, what it was to be successful, and what dreams they couldn't have. I don't feel they had a role model in their life to a degree that could actually give them that encouragement, that hope. And it was more when they did try to get those things, they weren't really so successful. So it kind of shaped their opinion. Self-development, I do see a lot here. but they've really gone inside themselves, and they're looking at that energy inside themselves now. They do feel you read them like a book. They really do. I don't know if the chat's frozen, so yeah, they feel like you read them like a book, but they're very much thinking about you. So again, if you feel their energy, that's why I'm saying with your fatigue level coming through, I really feel it's coming from this individual. They do feel almost like they're really having these huge psychic downloads. And again, it's funny because there's 3 fish on the card. It's like they're looking at 3 different scenarios of what they believe the value was, and it's been right under their nose this whole time. And it's almost like as they are, they're realizing the power that they had. The chat's good. Are we just all quiet in the house? It's really quiet at the moment. I wonder where everyone's hiding. They're probably out in the streets fighting with each other with Mars retrograde. Yep. I'll use a different deck now. Okay. What's coming up for love in the first week? Yeah, watch your back. A lot of jealousy, maybe some old triggers coming up, maybe some feelings, maybe some hunches. You know, this is spooky. Things are going to be going everywhere for you guys. I even think this could be your thoughts. Trying to say what they're trying to tell me. It's almost like there's a secondary message coming. You know what this is. You're going to know what this is. Falls on the floor, comes to the whole bloody deck. I get that. But what I'm getting is it's almost like but it's not taking you by surprise. It's almost like something needs to be dropped. And I just keep hearing, you guys know what this is. It's your side or their side. Something needs to be dropped. Drop it. Drop it. This can be a conversation. This can be a thought. This can be a person. Especially because you do have the 7th house placement. Look, I would not be surprised during this Mercury retrograde, especially because part of your dreams have been on hold. Marriages, contracts, partnerships, something needs to go for something new to come in. And this could be on their side or your side. Again, you could believe that either you or they are scared of, they're procrastinating, they're delaying the inevitable. So I'm really feeling like you or them, you're tuning into it. So your reading is embodying their entirety of the energy. But overall, you do have these energies playing out for you. But you know directly what needs to go, what needs to shift and move into this puzzle piece. Yeah, so it doesn't need to be said. Do you know what I mean? It's almost like if there's no communication and it's not said, it's just the writings on the wall. That's what's coming through. Now, by the new moon in Libra, for this love interest and you, what is coming through? The new moon in Libra. If you're single and they were in a connection, this can be to do with one connection ending and a new one renewing, because we have the wedding in reverse. So if you're needing to tie up a loose end, tie up a loose end. But this could be the person tying up a loose end. And also, if you don't directly feel in this connection, if you're in a connection, you're happy with it, you may be seeing the truth of the matter. But this sort of feels like a whole 360. And this is a spiritual connection that's coming in. And this is the reason why this is transforming. Not religious, spiritual. Okay, paradigms may have been blocking this. Belief systems might have been blocking this. Conditioning. Bringing something together, doing a full 360. Okay, by the full moon in Taurus place, which is your 7th house placement, Scorpio, what is happening? Full moon, end of it all, is something you guys might be changing something too. Going from couple to single or single to coupled. Or upgrading it, fixing it, balancing it. Also looking at the worth of it. Maybe even, if you're in a coupled and working on the finances. getting a message. Also, potentially. I do feel if you're in a third-party energy, there may be communication from this person in relation to where they're stuck. I do feel both of you, be it you're not in the connection or are in the connection, definitely there is a conversation between two energies of where both are stuck. I'm hearing the song Can't Get You Out of My Mind. And I'm feeling as though this is overdue. This is where communication is coming in. But I wouldn't be surprised if it's coming in beforehand, because it just feels you guys pretty much are filling your time. There's plenty of time to be filled, but the one area really that you want to shift and change is both your financial level potentially and more so the relationship sector. Any questions in the house? I will be back during the month to do updates as well, and twin flame updates for those of you on the twin flame path. Moon energies. As I get more organized, I'll attempt to do mid-month and the Taurus moon, although I have incorporated them in here. But if I get any psychic downloads, I will be adding them. So the next one we're going to be doing is the Pisces energy for October. Do we have any Pisces in the house? Picking my cards up. Did I pick them all up? So quiet. Yeah, okay, so October can be a lot of changes. Don't be surprised if you set your mind on something, Scorpio, and then you're getting to a point you're thinking, why don't I want to do that? Just be really gentle with yourself. It is for a few weeks with the Mercury aspect, but a lot of you may be a bit more assertive with your communication and direct. Yes. Okay, I shall be back shortly. Love and light.